Hey y'all, this is Gail teaching here from South Texas, our gentle yoga for low back care. We do 5 things in a Veterans Yoga Project yoga class. They are breathing, mindful movement, meditation, guided rest and relaxation, and a gratitude practice. So I talk a little bit here. You need gear for this class. If you don't have it, it's okay. I'll send the video to you later on in the week. You can do the class again with gear, but you don't have to use gear. If you don't have the stuff in the house, a yoga block, a strap, you can take a kind of a pillow and kind of fold it in half. You can take a dog, cat leash, or long scarf, or a tie to use instead of a yoga strap, or a long towel. That works too. I also use a chair to get down to the floor because I've got spicy back pain. And there's a blanket on my chair, which sometimes what I'll do is I'll cover myself up at the end of class or roll it and put it underneath the bend of the knees if I'm laying flat on my back. Again, that's near the end part of our class. So it's my hope to you that this lessens your pain. This class is for beginners. We take it easy. We're on our knees sometimes. So those of you that don't like to be on your knees, you can sit in the chair, do the postures there instead. So I'm going to get up. Come to the chair. You know what? I need to move this chair out of the way. But I'm going to come back to the front of the room during the guided rest and relaxation part of class. So I'm going to bend my knees, release, take my belly button towards my spine, hands on the chair. I'm going to step one foot back, way back, and I come down to my knee that's the best. I have one that's kind of spicy here. And I just kind of tip over. I'm going to make for sure, my block and my strap are close by. I recommend 2 blocks, and of course I don't use 2 blocks, but one of our poses, it's easier to have 2 blocks. But if you don't have 2 blocks, that's okay too. So I'm going to just place that blanket over here to the side. First posture we're going to do is called constructive rest pose. If you can do this for about 5 to 10 minutes during your day, maybe when you first get up out of bed or before you go to bed, it'll release tension held in the spine. And if you can put your legs up on the seat of a couch or a chair, that's even better. But today, we're going to put it as part of our yoga poses. Now, for me, this feels kind of spicy because, I got some issues going on with my spine. So I'm going to take my hand and roll my shoulder up and away. That already feels better. And then I'm going to do the same with the other side. Roll it up and away. Very good. So I feel some tension here in the low back, and then it kind of radiates up to my shoulder, some kind of like lengthening tension. It actually feels okay in the body today. So constructive rest posture, knees bent, feet on the yoga mat. If you're sitting in a chair, you're just sitting comfortably in the chair. And we're going to start with the breathing. So your hands can be out to the sides of the body, or you can bend at the elbows and place the hands on the belly, below the belly button, and then above the belly button, or wherever it's comfortable for you. So for our breath, what we do, and it's kind of weird because we don't normally breathe this way anymore. We did when we were babies, but as adults, we've kind of transformed our breathing. We're going to breathe in and then expand the belly, and then as we exhale, contract the belly button towards the spine. So there's some sneaky core work happening with our breath even. So let's breathe in, belly big. Now it doesn't have to expand very much. And then exhale, let it fall. Belly button towards your spine. You might feel it in your low abdominals, your mid abdominals, in between those hip points. And again, inhale, belly big. Exhale, belly button towards your spine. Relax those shoulders too. We tend to tense up laying here on the floor. And again, breathe in, expand the belly. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. If you're sitting in the chair, hands on your belly, your low belly, and just notice as you breathe in, belly button expands. And as you exhale, everything kind of sinks towards your spine. Very good. Next, we'll do what's called the extended exhale breath. I'm going to clap to a count of 4. As you breathe in, we'll pause, and then we're going to exhale to a count of 5. This helps you to lower your blood pressure to lessen your heart rate. It's also good for when you're getting your blood pressure taken to really think about listening to the breath. As you inhale, count of 4, slowly, slowly exhale, count of 5, maybe more. Again, that lowers both the upper and lower numbers. And I do this every morning to get my blood pressure below that 120/80 mark. So let's practice this, all right? So breathe in. Here we go. Pause. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Let's do that again. Inhale, belly big. Expand it, expand it. Exhale. Let's do that one more time. Breathe in, belly big. Exhaling. Beautiful. Go back to your normal breath. Now, I like to say, if something feels weird, you don't like it, don't do it. Keep your poses, your postures between easy and ouch. Join us for the next one. If it feels spicy, listen to the breath going in through the nostril tips and out through the nostril tips. Sometimes that allows you to stay in the posture. Sometimes it doesn't work, and that's okay too. So I'm going to ask you to feel grounded here. So notice the surface that's supporting you here. If you're sitting in a chair, it's your bottom. Maybe it's your shoulders and your back. The bottoms of the feet. If you're laying here on your back, the back of the head, those same places I mentioned, the shoulders, the upper back, maybe some of the lower back, the bottoms of the feet. And now with the feet, I want you to lift your toes, push into the heels, and then place your feet back down on the floor, and then lift your heels. Feel the ball of the foot, the toes. So just kind of go back and forth with the lifting of the heels, lifting of the toes. This is just bringing you back into your body when you do this, feeling that groundedness, plus a little movement for the calves. That's considered to be your second heart, bringing blood supply from the lower extremities back into the heart. It's good stuff. And then make the feet nice and still. Our next yoga posture is called the notice pose. It might be a little spicy. Just bear with us here. If you're seated in the chair, you're going to extend one leg and be on the back of the heel. If you're here laying on the yoga mat, go ahead and extend a leg. Again, you're on the back of the heel. Woof. That feels really tight on that left side. And then tighten the belly button, extend the other one. So what you're doing here is noticing, woo, how does the body feel in the chair, on the floor, in notice posture. So I feel lots of tightness in the shoulder blade, mid-thoracic spine, and then tightness in the front hips, in that hip musculature. So it's kind of spicy for me today. Squeeze the belly button towards the spine, and then slide one foot back into feet on the floor, and then the other. And we're going to do knee to chest posture. If you're seated in the chair, you may want to take your yoga strap and place it along the bottom of the foot. If you want to do this on the yoga mat, that's cool too. So you got to bring that strap along the bottom of the foot. And then we're going to invite the knee into the chest. Also, if you're seated, hands can be back behind the knee. Also, if you're laying on the ground. What you're trying to notice here is how much of this leg is into the hip crease. Is it just into the hip crease? Is it into the side waist? Is it into the low ribs? So those of us with back challenges, you're going to possibly notice differences one side versus the other. And just kind of let things hang here. We're going to do point and flex of the toe and the heel to get the ankle joint mobilized. That helps you to have better walking gait, strengthens that ankle area, all the things around that. So again, your feet are like the base of everything. You got to keep the feet, the ankles, all that strong. So point and flex. Again, the second heart is being pumped here. You're returning blood flow back to the heart. Now pause and do ankle circles. Woof. Notice if there's any snap, crackly, pop stuff going on with that ankle circle. Make sure it's just the ankle and not the entire foot doing the circle, okay? And then pause, go the other direction. Oof. Notice if it makes more noise or if you feel things kind of moving around the ankle bone, the top of the foot. All right, and then let that relax. Now we're going to do extend the leg out. So squeeze the belly button towards the spine, extend that leg out into the air. You may notice lots of activation in the hip flexors, a lot of agitation, depending what's going on here. Foot off the ground a little bit if you're seated in the chair. Again, just notice where this is comfortable or not in the space of the air. Now, inhale, knee in towards the chest. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Extend that leg out. Again, tight, tight, tight abdominals here. Inhale, belly soft, knee to chest. Exhaling, leg out. So what you're trying to notice is, do you feel any poppy, crinkly noises in the meniscuses, ACL, in the knees? Do you feel any poppy noise? Feel anything in the hip bone, in the hip area? I'll be quiet for just a second. As you continue, breathe in, knee to chest. Exhaling, leg out. And you might notice your leg going lower or higher in the air if you're seated. So we're trying to, get motion is lotion here. If you rest, you're going to rust. Ooh, I'm pulling out all the words today. I like to talk a little bit. You'll notice that in this class. I'm just like the chatterbox. My hope for you is that you listen to my voice and you can do the yoga postures without having to look at the screen. But some people are visual, so I like to do the visual stuff with y'all too. So maybe it's less noise. Maybe there's more motion going on here. But let's check in. Let's bring that knee into the chest. Let the foot dangle. And just notice if this is more comfortable in towards your chest, if there's more range of motion, if it's more folded, or maybe you don't notice any of that. Maybe there's less pain. Hopefully there's not more pain. Although if it's spicy, you might be having some pain, and that's okay. We're just going to deal with it with the breath. So breathe in and breathe out. Beautiful. Let's put that foot down to the floor and let's do the other one. Again, you can use that strap along the bottom of the foot. I'm going to get disentangled with my strap. And again, squeeze the belly button towards the spine. Lift the other foot off the yoga mat and invite that one in towards your chest and knee in towards the chest. So first thing you're going to notice, hey, is this one any different than the other one? So this one's more folded into my chest. It's past the hip crease. It's more into that side waist. And so it's laying more on my torso. So because I've got that big old curve in my spine, like a 40-degree curve, and I've got disc degeneration, bulging discs, bone spurs. What else can I say? Spondylolisthesis, retrosthesis. About the only thing I don't have is sciatica, but that's because I do a daily practice or every other day. So I kind of keep it all unpinched. So we're going to go back to what we did on the other side, which is point and flex. Woo. And I may have the order out of order, but that's okay. We're going to get everything covered. Notice if this feels a little bit easier to do than the other side, or is it not? Notice if there's stiffness going on in the top of the foot, that ankle area. So that's what I do in this class. I ask you to notice. And, it takes a couple of times to kind of get into this back yoga groove. Because this is more of a therapeutic class than it is a movement class or, you want to burn calories. Because there's so many different varieties of yoga. And I invite y'all to go to all the classes to figure it out. Now, make the foot still and let's start some ankle circles. Notice now, are your ankle circles similar to the other side? Or are you feeling some stiff business going on here? Or maybe some, maybe one side is, really going around, but the other one's like, ooh, maybe not on the left side of that circle. All right, and then make it still. Go the other way. And if you're in the chair doing this, man, you got to really hang on underneath those knees to make this happen. You might lean back a little bit, but engage the core so that, you're not spicing your back on this, okay? And then make that circle just relax there. Beautiful. All right, so we're going to be doing knee to chest pose. So first, we're going to bring that leg out into the air. So for me, this one's closer to my body. It feels more comfortable. The other one was like more towards the floor. And I'm just kind of noticing how it feels out here in the air. It's okay if this is my what I would consider the better side. Whew. And then we're going to add some movement here. So we're going to breathe in, knee in towards the chest. And the strap along the bottom of the foot if you're using the strap. And exhale, extend that leg out. Inhale, knee into chest. And there's a soft little flex of the foot, so you activate that calf as you extend that leg out, exhaling. Your leg may get closer to the floor as you progress. Inhale, knee into chest. Exhale, leg out. Again, this is for joint mobility in the knee and the hip. So again, getting things kind of moving here. We're going to be doing some bone building postures, which are also great for lessening back pain. So us doing this little isolated movement here helps with postures down the line. Again, you're noticing any snap, crackle, pop stuff in the knees, in the hip area. Go slower if you need to. Match your breath with your movement. Sometimes I go a little too fast. It's like, woo. And let's do one more. Here we go. And invite that knee into the chest. Now let it go into your chest. See if there's any difference in where its position is. Now, if your leg was pretty close to your body to begin with, you may not notice much movement here. There might be some, I don't know. And then release and relax that foot down to the floor. Let's do the nose pose, just because I'm ornery today. Extend a leg out, contract that belly button, and then do the other one. I'm always slow on the second one. So for me, I'm noticing the hips are being a little bit less tense. And then for I got to roll my shoulders here. The mid-thoracic, there's a little bit less tension going on. That was just after basically 2 postures. So you may not notice anything yet, but we hope that you do at the end of class. Squeeze that belly button towards your spine, slide a foot back onto the yoga mat, and then the other. And we're going to do the strange one. I'm going to come up to seated to show you what we're going to do. You just can turn your head to look at the video or just listen to my voice. So what we're going to do is do golfer's grip. We're going to take the hands, you spread out those fingers, and then you fold the fingers into the pads of the hands. Your fingers may not touch the upper part of the palm. They may go more into the mid. That's okay. In my right hand, I can't get my fingers down, but my left hand I can. And then we have the top of the hand aligned with the forearms. We don't have a cocked wrist here. We have it all aligned. So this stabilizes the forearm and strengthens that. So we're going to be doing a strengthening move here. We're also going to grab either that couch pillow or your yoga block. We're going to take that the middle measurement, or the mid width, I guess you call it. If you don't have a yoga block or whatever, you can do the inside of the knees or grab your blanket and squeeze your blanket instead. So we're back into constructive rest pose. We're laying on our back and placing that block in between the knees. And you're going, what about that golfer's grip? I'm going to show you in just a second. So place that block in between the thighs. I do it a little bit like 2 or 3 inches below the top of the knees when you're looking at your feet on your yoga mat. And then you're going to take your hands, fold the fingers into the pad of the hands, the same with the other one. So you got Superman arms here in front of your chest. You're doing the same thing if you're seated in the chair, okay? And you're squeezing the block. Walk your feet in so you feel that squeeze of the inner thighs, maybe the hips. Then turn your thumbs to the center. You're laying on your back. Sometimes the shoulders are raised, so lower the shoulders down to the yoga mat. And then bend at the elbows, back of the arms on the floor. So you look like a weird letter T if someone was looking down at you. And you got parallel forearms to the floor if you're sitting on the chair. Notice the abdominals being contracted. So what we're going to do is strengthen the upper back and get into that hip musculature with our letter T overhead extension pose. Again, maybe walk those feet towards one another, get a little squeeze, a consistent squeeze of the block. Now, let's press into the floor with our shoulders. Press the shoulder blades together if you're seated on the chair, and then release. So there's this constant squeeze going on with the lower body, okay? But sometimes I squeeze extra when we squeeze the shoulders. So let's do that again. Squeeze and release. Breathe however you need to on this one. Squeeze and release. Woo! 3 more. Squeeze and release. 2 more. Squeeze and release. 1 more. Squeeze, 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 and release. Now take the hands in front of your chest. Clap your hands. Rub your hands. Get some circulation going on with those palms, with those fingers. This is also good for osteoarthritis, arthritis of the hand, of the fingers. So again, motion is lotion. Got to get things circulated. Now, let's interlace the fingers straight, super straight arms. Make sure your elbows look the same. My right one likes to turn out, so I got to think about, okay, turn it in. Again, my shoulders are off the ground. Drop the shoulders and belly button towards your spine. If you need to unsqueeze for a second, re-squeeze the block. Very good. Now, with straight arms, slowly, let's bring the arms up and overhead. Woo! This might be a challenge seated on the chair. Also, if you got bursitis, shoulder cuff challenges, that one arm will keep you from going too low. So I'm here on the side of my glasses. I'm going to wiggle my thumbs. Yep, nothing's there. And then belly button very tight. Bring the hands slowly back to in front of your chest. Unlace the fingers, clap the hands. Woo! Rub those fingers, circulation. I think this is my favorite yoga pose right here. Wait, this is a yoga pose? Sure, it's a yoga pose. Why not? Hand circulation yoga pose. And then go back. Guess what? Fold the fingers back into the pad of the hand. Maybe they're touching now. Maybe not. And then turn the thumbs to the center. Bend at the elbows, back of the arms on the yoga mat. Kind of wiggle those shoulders a little bit. Okay, now squeeze that block because, if I lost it, I think y'all lost it too. Here we go. Squeeze the upper body. Woo! And release. Let's do it again. Squeeze and release. 3 more. I think I'm counting correctly. And release. 2 more. Always keep it between easy and ouch now. 1 more. Very good. Now hands in front of your chest. Clap the hands. Rub the hands. And now let's interlace the fingers. Squeeze the palms. Make the elbows the same. Drop the shoulders. Very slowly with tight inner squeezing of the thighs. Arms up and overhead. Slow. Go slow. Did I mention go slow? I meant to mention go slow. Woo! Now I'm here on the side of my glasses. I got a spicy right shoulder, so it's not going to let me go too far into pain, and I don't want to go into pain. Whew! Now, very slowly with abdominal contraction, squeeze that belly button. Bring the hands back to in front of your chest. Go slow. Come on, slow, slow, slow. Very nice, very nice. Okay, clap the hands, unlace the fingers, or unlace the fingers and clap the hands. One of the two, right? Your hands should be pretty warm by now. That's my hope. Guess what? Last set. And y'all going, yay. All right, interlace. Fold the fingers into the pads of the hands, back to golfer's grip. Turn the thumbs to the center. Bend at the elbows. Back of the arms on the floor. And letter T, weird looking thing, right? Okay, here we go. Squeeze those shoulders. Squeeze the block. And release the shoulder squeeze. Woo! Do that again. This is number 4. And release. We're counting down. 3, squeeze into the floor. Squeeze that block. And release. Let's do number 2. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Very good. Last one today. Squeeze into the floor. Squeeze those shoulders towards one another. Yay. Release. Hands in front of you. Clap the hands. Whew. Rub those hands. Get that circulation going on. I love it. Okay, and you probably hate it, but you know what? This is back yoga. Interlace the fingers, squeeze the palms, elbows the same, shoulders down. Okay, here we go. Arms overhead if you're not already there. Because I tend to talk, yeah? Do some nice slow breathing here. Now I'm going to wiggle my thumbs. Whoa, I'm touching the floor. And the key is don't bend your elbows. Keep them straight. You don't have to touch the floor. Just know that. But just notice your range of motion increase, I hope. All right. Squeeze that belly button. Squeeze the palms. Bring it back to in front of your chest. Squeeze that block. Clap those hands. Unlace those fingers, or whatever order that needs to be done in. I often reverse my words because I just often do. And shake those hands. Shake those arms. Release that energy. And then take that block out. You know what? Whether you're seated on the floor or on the yoga mat, stomp your feet. Do a tantrum right here. Get that energy. If you tend to get leg cramps, you got to do these foot stomping, the shaking of the legs. So just stomp, stomp, stomp. Contract your abdominals if you need to. And release. Relax. Yay. Now we're going to do windshield wiper. I'm going to use my block. So your feet are on the yoga mat. If you're seated in the chair, you're on the balls of your feet to make this easier. The leg closest to me, it's going to be your left or your right leg. We're just going to invite the knee down towards the floor. So I'm just kind of dropping that knee out to the side. Now I'm super tight on that hip. So I take my yoga block underneath because it doesn't feel good in my body at this moment. So I'm on the side of my foot, which we don't normally stimulate that. And this is a good pose for that. Now take that other leg and drop it towards the bottom leg. It's a low lumbar twist. It feels kind of odd seated on the chair, but you might notice this nice tension, lengthening feeling in that kind of the top hip bone area up through the side body, through that quadratus lumboris, the iliopsoas, the psoas muscle, all things that could be, not the QL, but the other two could be pinching for the sciatica. So just kind of know that, yeah? So these are prep poses for easing sciatica pain. So squeeze the belly button, bring the top leg back to the center, yay, bottom leg back to the center. So we're back into constructive rest posture. Let's do the second side. So drop the other knee out to the side. And let's see, I'm almost here at the wall. So, well, that feels okay. I don't need the block on this side for whatever reason. And then take the other leg, drop it towards the bottom leg. So keep the feet on the floor while we do this. They're never really going to touch, but they're going to work towards touching. And again, notice in this low lumbar twist how this feels in the high behind, in the muscles around the hip bone, you know, the booty, the front torso muscles, all that. Yeah? Again, the iliopsoas, the psoas, and all those interconnecting things that cause us trouble when we have back pain. Squeeze the belly button, bring the top leg to the center. You can use your hand, you can guide your hand, and then that other leg back to the center. Let's do that one more time. I don't think I'm going to need the block on the second time. So go back to the original side, drop it towards the floor. And again, just kind of notice how this feels in the groin and the hip and all this side musculature. And then take that top leg towards the bottom leg. So I'm a little bit deeper into the posture, so I feel a little bit more lengthening, pulling. It feels okay. It feels like, ooh, that's a very interesting feeling that's going on here. It's even into my low ribs. And then squeeze that belly button, bring the top leg to the center, bottom leg to the center. And I'm going to scoot away from the wall. Let's do the second side, all right? Drop it out on the side of the foot. Again, if you need the block underneath or a hand underneath, that's okay. Take the top leg, drop it towards the bottom leg. Again, we're trying to do movement sequence to ease our back challenges. And again, just notice the sensations that are happening in the body as we are doing the yoga movement. Squeeze the belly button, bring the top leg back to the center. You can use your hand to guide you if you need to, and the bottom leg. All right, you know we've got to do it, right? Let's do the notice pose. So again, extend the leg. Ooh, wow. Okay, and do the other one. Now, so for some folks, this is still pretty spicy. What I advise for that is be on the back of the heels and bend the knees. So that sometimes releases those tight hip flexors. But I'm trying to do like a little snapshot of how we're doing, yeah? Squeeze the belly button towards the spine, slide a foot back onto the yoga mat, then the other. And then I invite you to lift your behind up and off, and then turn over onto your side. I'm going to be real slow here because I've got SI joint dysfunction too. When I roll over on the bed, it goes, whoo, it grabs me. That's usually key to know that you have SI joint dysfunction. Extend that top leg and push into the floor. Now, you may need to hesitate here if you've got some dizzy stuff. Just, you come up to one level and you breathe. But if it's okay, come up all the way to seated. So when you go from horizontal to vertical, you can have some equilibrium shifts. All right, so for me, it's difficult to sit on the floor without back pain because it's just like, whoa, spicy. So I take my yoga blanket. I think I put that in the email, right? And I fold it, I fold it into a tall, skinny rectangle, and then I fold it into thirds because that presents like a nice thickness on the edge. And some folks need 2 yoga blankets or towels. And I sit on the edge of the height, because that allows me to tilt my pelvis forward and I open up more in the chest for better breathing in the upper body. And I don't feel like rounded towards the floor like I'm texting or, mousing or playing on the piano. So again, it just allows everything to kind of flare open here. And it just feels better for my body. For some folks, they need to be seated in the chair instead. So just kind of know that, yeah? You're away from the back of the chair when we do these next movements. So from here, we got to finish our spinal movements. We already did one a little bit, the low lumbar twist, when we did the windshield wipers with the knees going out to the side. But we're going to do some more twists and strengthen the upper back musculature. Often where your pain is not where the problem is. So we not only strengthen and lengthen the lower part of the body, we do the same thing with the upper part of the body, because sometimes upper body stuff is low back pain. So with that being said, this may be comfortable for you sitting crisscross here. It may not. You can take a block underneath if you've got hips that feel very, very tight and the knees are more towards your shoulders. That's where I was saying maybe a second block would help too. But I only need it here just a little bit on that one side. You may have to have a leg out. Just know that too, all right? So we're going to do letter W, unsupported twist. So basically, we've got the arms out wide, and we bend the elbows to where our arm outline looks like a lowercase letter W with a funny head in between. So you're going to squeeze the shoulders. This is similar to what we just did with our letter T arms and our golfer's grip, yeah? We're going to relax the hands here. So notice which leg is in the front, or your left, or your right, and you're going to squeeze the shoulders. Breathe in first. Belly big, belly soft. Exhale, belly button towards your spine. Turn towards one side. So you keep the chin aligned with your chest. And try to keep the squeeze of the shoulders. Always lose the outside shoulder, but I re-squeeze it when I come back to the center. Stay here. Breathe in. Exhale, belly button towards the spine. Come back to the center. Now I'm going to breathe through the mouth so you can hear the breathing. But breathe in and out through the nose. Inhaling, breathe in, belly big. Exhale, twist over to the other side. Did you twist more on this side? Maybe you did. Stay here. Breathe in. Exhale, back to the center. And relax and release those arms, those shoulders. Let's do something for dowager's hump. That's that little excessive upper hump that happens sometimes when we're, where the head is more not aligned with the ears, with the shoulders. So, well, I'm going to move the block out of the way for this one. We're going to inhale, squeeze the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, twist over to the side. Hold the shoulders towards the ears, strengthening the upper back musculature. And relax and release. Return it back to the center. Whew. Let's do that on the other side. So inhale, squeeze up to your shoulders, to your ears. Exhale, twist to the other direction. Keep it held in, that breath. And then exhale, release, inhale back to the center. All right. We're going to do the letter W starting with the other direction now, the unsupported twist. So the why we do unsupported twist for back, those of us with back challenges. If you do another yoga class and they say, take your hand to the opposite leg, bring the other arm back behind you, and now crank or move into the twist. Sometimes we do more than we need to. We super accentuate the stuff that's going on with our spine. So that can cause more problems, more pain. This is what I've learned in my 22 years of teaching yoga. So go back to letter W. And again, this class is specifically for easing back pain. So, take what you need, right? Breathe in, belly big. Beautiful. Exhale, belly button towards your spine, twist. Did you twist more? You may have. Breathe in, stay here. Exhale, back to the center. Yay. Stay here, breathe in. Big old belly breath. Okay, belly button towards your spine, twist to the other direction. Ooh, it twisted more. Yay. I'm competitive with myself. Stay here, breathe in. Exhale, back to the center. Beautiful. All right, just wiggle those shoulders. They're like miniature little shoulder rolls. Alternate. And then reverse. Reverse always looks weird to me. I don't know why. Because it does. That's my opinion, right? All right, so now we need to do side lateral flexion. You know what? We're going to do that when we're standing up. How about if we stand up now? So I'm going to take my block to the top of the yoga mat, and I'm going to take that blanket out. Yeah, we're going to stand up and come onto our hands and knees. And again, that spicy knee, I'm not going to be on there for long, but I also will use a chair to come up. So if you've got a block, you can place a hand on the chair or on the block, and then bring a foot up to the top of the yoga mat, curl that back toe. I'm going to use the block and the chair today. Lean a little forward, lift that back knee, hop, walk that back foot next to the forward foot, hands on the hips, keep the back straight from the hips to the top of the shoulders and hinge up. Woo! And again, when you come from horizontal to vertical, there can be this dizzy stuff. So you can just place your hands to heart center, feet wide, look at the floor, breathe. I'm going to adjust the camera while y'all breathe. Are y'all breathing? I think you are. That didn't help any, did it? Okay. Very good. All right, so I use the chair for my standing postures. You do not have to use a chair for standing postures. You can also sit on the chair for our warrior poses. I'll move that block out of the way. All right, so from here, from our breath, let's step those feet wide. Ooh, this mat's kind of slippery, so I gotta be a little careful here. I lift a heel and I turn a foot towards the short end of the yoga mat, bend that knee, and then I like to go wide because I got those long legs, so I'm, cautiously heel toeing that foot out. Now I'm gonna check, is my knee aligned with my foot? Yes, it is. And then I'm going to bend that knee a little bit more. Oof, okay, now I kind of gauged, how's that feel in the body? It feels okay. So for bone building benefit, this is the warrior two legs. We're going to press firmly into the floor, and then think about pushing the feet opposite ends of the room so you really get into that hip musculature. You should be feeling a little bit here. Remember those golfers' grip hands? Yes, we're going to do them. Vicki hates this. We're going to do it anyway, Vicki. Fold the fingers into the pads of the hands, and then bring the arms either low or letter T. But think about squeezing the shoulders once again. So this is a 2 for the price of 1, actually 3 for the price of 1. Thumbs pointed towards the front of the room, towards me, and then draw circles in front of your body and woo, back behind you. So this is postural alignment to make your body feel better and also to strengthen the upper back musculature. Be sure you're squeezing those shoulders, your feet firm into the floor. You can do one at a time. Just know that, okay? You don't have to do both. Maybe you want to speed it up. Maybe not, but there's this little oscillation from the upper body, lower body when you speed it up a little bit. Again, firm feet into the floor. So this is a little bit less traditional warrior two posture. We've added on a couple little bonuses to it. Activation of the feet into the floor, arm circles, make sure the circles are coming in front and back behind you, and you're squeezing those shoulders. Are the arms burning yet? Yes. And release. Shake them out. Keep the warrior 2 feet. Shake them vigorously. Now we're going to go into that side lateral flexion next. So arms back into letter T. Hey, if you need to take a break with that bent knee, softly straighten, then go right back into it. Good. But press into the floor, push away. Good. Now flip the hands up. We're going to take the hand that's over the bent knee side, reach out, bring it up into the air. Either grab the chair, fist on a hip, arm down the leg for that side lateral movement. Make sure that knee is bent. Woo! Eyes can look where the hand is, but sometimes that makes folks dizzy. You can just look forward or look at your elbow pit. We have an armpit. We can have an elbow pit, right? Right. Woo! Is there some conversation going on with that leg? There might be, yes? And release. I love it. Pivot the foot. My foot's kind of sticky on that mat. And then walk it in. Sometimes our stance is less wide on the second side. So let's do the second side. Feet wide. And then lift the heel, turn the foot, bend the knee towards that short end of the yoga mat. If you're seated, you're taking your legs out into that letter L, arms out. Once again, guess what? Back to golfer's grip, fold it. Now before we had the thumbs forward, right? Squeeze the shoulders, thumbs up, thumbs back behind you. And your hips towards that long end of your yoga mat. Maybe bend your knee a little bit more. And that one leg super straight, toes pointed towards the long end of the yoga mat. Woo! Now, draw circles back behind you and forward. Are you pressing vigorously into the floor? Yes, okay, good. Are you pushing the feet away? Are you squeezing those shoulders and you're doing your arm circles? And are your arms talking yet? Not yet? Okay, let's do about 10 more. Here we go. 10, 9, oh my gosh, 8, 7, squeeze those shoulders, 6, 5, woo, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake it out. Keep the feet firm into the floor. You can make your arms shaking vigorously if you like. All right, and then shake those hands. Palms up. Bend that knee a little bit more. Reach. Scoop the hand into the sky. Hand on the chair, hand on the hip. I like to press my hand to the hip as a counterbalance or slide the hand down the leg. Again, firm feet into the floor here. Breathe. This is a cardio one that kind of kicks up the heart rate, especially when you do those arm circles. So we add a little cardio output with our Warrior 2 feet. Side lateral flexion. Hand that's in the air, float it down, straighten that leg, pivot the foot, walk it in. We're going to do tree pose, another bone building exercise, also good for helping us with back challenges. I'm going to show the one with the chair first. So for me, we're going to have those feet pointed towards 12 o'clock. So none of this feet out to the side business, but pointed straight and a little bit, distance apart, 2 fists, maybe more, whatever's comfortable for your body. And then I've got my chair close by, my wall close by. I'm going to lift my heel and then turn my knee out to the side, and I'm up on the ball of the foot. Now I tend to jut my hip out, so I got to think about the one I'm balancing on, be tall and straight as best I can. So, some minor adjustments. Then I'm going to start walking the foot into next to the instep of my other foot, and maybe I can balance here. Maybe not. Or maybe I can slide my foot into the calf, but the knee is out to the side. That's the key. So make sure the knee's out to the side. Hang on to whatever you got, right? Maybe you can bring the foot above the knee. Now, I can only do this on this side. Whoa, I think. But I tend to jut my hip out, so I'm thinking, okay, is that worth it? I don't know. Again, maybe arms can go up, and you're going to notice the dance of the foot or of the feet. Don't forget to breathe. And, sometimes I'll do fingertips on the wall because I got the wall right behind me here. And I'll do the other hand up. I'll do this at the kitchen counter just to see if I can feel strong. But my feet are doing this little movement thing because, I've got some issues with the feet, so my balance is not that good. And release. Did y'all hold your breath? I tend to hold my breath on this. I'm going to show the wall version, okay? Show my belly too. All right, so I'm going to step my foot out, lift that heel, turn the foot out to the side. So I've got one knee one direction, one knee the other direction. I'm going to put the hand on the wall, tall on the wall. I'm going to make sure that balanced foot, again, is pointed towards 12 o'clock. It's not turned out to the side a little bit. Lift that knee, bring it into that floor or the calf. Now I'm going to make sure the standing leg, whoa, is not jutting towards the wall. Now I can only do this one into the calf, and that's okay. But sometimes that leg comes to the front of your body. Try to invite it out to the side. So again, we're getting into all the nooks and crannies of that hip musculature. You hang on to a chair, whatever you need to do, yeah? I'm hanging on to the wall. I got those frog toe pads on the wall. I'm hanging on. Breathing in, breathing out. And guess what? Let's release. Whew. Once we're there, just kind of move a little bit side to side. We're going to do a little Tai Chi movement here just because I'm feeling a little ornery. If you're seated in the chair, your knees are wide. If you're standing on the yoga mat, guess what? Step those feet wide. Point the toes towards the corners, the heels towards your behind. Your chair may be in front of you if you want to use your chair. And I'm just kind of bending one knee, then the other is called horse stance. Then we're going to have our ball. And basically what we're going to do is draw a side line number 8 shifting the weight over to one side, shifting the weight over to the other side, a bone building exercise. Again, good for all the joints here. So let's lean over. And basically we're drawing that side line number 8, feeling the contraction of the quadricep, the hamstring, as we shift over to one side and then the other. Kicks up the cardiac effort. This is one that, yeah, I can feel my heart rate going up. Keep breathing. Now we're going to pause. Oh gosh, go the opposite direction. So this is good for activating both sides of the brain, especially for those traumatic brain injuries. Really concentrating on this, doing this movement. Get into the body, get into both hemispheres of the brain. This is why I like this one, because it's a good Alzheimer's prevention strategy to employ. And again, it helps with those of us with TBIs. Let's do one more, sideline number 8. Whew. And then bring it to the center. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Hands to heart center. Gently bring the toes back to the center. Heel toe in. So if you're seated in the chair, stay in the chair. We're going to do the 8 movement meditation next. So again, my toes pointed towards 12 o'clock. Seated in the chair, you're away from the back of the chair. And we'll bring our hands forward. This is traditional mountain pose, or otherwise known as Tadasana. But from here, let's inhale, gather our arms in front of our legs. Exhale, raise it up to shoulder level. Inhale, outwards. Big old breath there. Exhale, contract it inwards. Inhale, let's flow it towards our chest. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, let's descend, lower. Exhale, disperse it out. Very good. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, gather it in. Exhale, rise. Very good. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, contract those arms inward. Inhaling in towards your chest. Exhale, flow it forward. Inhale, descend. Exhale, let's disperse it out. 1 more time. Inhale, let's gather it in. Big old breath right there. Exhale, rise. Inhale, open it up. Exhale, contract those arms inward. Inhaling, flow it towards the chest. Exhale, push it forward. Inhale, descend. Exhale, disperse out. Keep your feet firm into the floor. Let's inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, stick the booty out. This is chair posture. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Straighten the legs. Exhale, bend the knees, bend the elbows, belly button towards the spine. Feet firm into the floor if you're seated here, very firm. Inhale, circle, sweep arms up. Big old breath right there. Exhale, bend those elbows, bend the knees. Now stay here. Press the feet firmly into the floor, very vigorously. Very good. And just stay here. Hands can be on top of the chair, hands on the hips, hands right here in front of you. Woo! This is also a cardio yoga posture. So let's end this by inhale, circle, sweep arms up. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Into the chest. Beautiful. We're going to come down to the floor now. Grab your yoga block. Get your yoga blanket close by. I'm going to use the chair to come down. So y'all just come down however you can, man. And if you're seated in the chair, stay seated in the chair. I'm going to move my yoga mat away from the wall there. So next is called block bridge pose. This is the #1 reason to have a yoga block. This is for this next posture. Well, next posture. We're going to go onto our backs. And again, you're noticing the surface underneath you, how it feels with your musculature into your chair, into the floor, back of the head, feet, back side of the behind, low back, maybe some mid back, upper back, shoulders. I'm going to, again, roll my shoulders away. And let's do the notice pose. So extend one leg all the way down. Notice how that feels in your body. Now, it takes a bit to kind of feel stuff going on. Extend, move those shoulders a little bit, wiggle those legs. So for me, I'm more softened with my tightly held musculature. It feels a lot less. There's a lot less tension happening in the body. And this is my second class I've taught today, so it's tightly held, let me tell you. So squeeze the belly button towards the spine, slide a foot back onto the yoga mat, then the other. If you're seated in the chair, you're going to take the tall end and press it into the back of the chair and press your low back and whatever mid back can touch into the yoga block. But those of us laying down here on the ground, you're going to walk your feet towards your behind. It's called block bridge pose. You're going to squeeze your belly button. Either use your hand or your own strength to lift up and slide that yoga block along the bottom of your behind. Yeah, it feels kind of weird to me here with my shoulders, so I got to walk my shoulders away, and then of course I got to readjust. Very good. Okay, and I move my shoulders a little bit more. So this particular posture helps you further release stuff going on with the spine. So we're going to add on to this by squeezing the belly button, raising a leg up into the air. And then we're going to do some lymphatic drainage techniques here by shaking the leg. And my yoga pant goes up my body, but that's okay. And then shake it side to side. I always think side to side feels a little odd. My toes kind of feel really like stuck together. So I'm going to shake my leg again to see if I can get them to wiggle on their own. Oh, a little bit, yeah. This helps with prolapse of the organs of like the rectum, of the bladder, and the accompanied female-male parts. So you're working gravity in a different direction, so giving it a break, yeah. And then let the leg stop, feel the energy in that leg, and then bring the foot down. Now squeeze the belly button towards the spine, lift the other one up. And if you're seated in the chair, maybe your foot's on the ground while you wiggle. Maybe your foot's off the ground, hands underneath the bend of the knee, whatever you can manage, however you can wiggle it, okay? So get that vibrational energy going on here. Love it. Now shake it side to side. Again, I think side to side feels a little odd, but that's okay. I can have my opinion, right? And then once again, shake it to where you can feel your toes maybe. But if you got neuropathy in your feet, sometimes you're not going to feel it, but just, it's happening if you're giving it a good leg shake. And then make that still. Now, add the other one back if you can. So I'm going to grab my yoga block, belly button, and then alternate or just shake them. Shake them, shake them, shake them. I know this sounds silly. This feels odd, but there's a method to my madness. You're here on the block bridge, and you're not noticing what's going on here because you're noticing the legs, yeah? Redirection of senses. Now, side to side. Again, it just feels strange in the body, but I love it. And then shake them again. Get those toes wiggling. Shake. Woo. And then release. Woo. Feel that tingliness, yeah? And then release one foot down. Oh, yeah. Then the other. Now you got to push into the floor, raise up, peel that block out, lay your spine back on down. You should feel the goodness right here. Thumbs up if you feel different here. Yeah? Okay, good. Thank you.
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, my Apple Watch said, I'm not sure I understand. That's kind of strange. Let's do windshield wipers. So drop a knee out to the side. Notice if that feels any different, maybe more range of motion, less stuff going on. Then take that top leg, drop it towards the bottom leg. Notice the lengthening stretch here. Do you feel more range of motion, more stuff? Because you're lowering your leg more, yeah? Squeeze the belly button, bring the top leg back to the center, bottom leg back to the center. We're being slow, we're being kind, okay? Now do the second side. Drop it out to the side, okay? And then drop the other one. Again, you're trying to compare how it felt in the beginning of the class to now. Hopefully there's less tension happening in various places of the body. Squeeze the belly button, bring that top leg back to the center, bottom leg to the center. Now for some folks it's too much. Some folks need more, but we try to give you a kind of a variety of this healthy back class. So here's what's going to happen next. We're going to go into that guided rest and relaxation. So that's like the icing on top of the cake. A lot of folks can extend one leg and then the other, go back to notice pose and just be here with arms out to the side or hands on their torso. But, I like to either take that yoga blanket, put it underneath the bend of my knees, or cover up with the blanket if it's a kind of a cold room. But some of us have really learned the secret sauce to really releasing stuff going on with the spine. And they'll take a lightweight chair or the couch or your ottoman and come up to the chair or the wall and cartwheel their calves onto the chair. And then you scoot your booty away from the chair a little bit. You can see Ms. Vicky doing that in hers. And then this also further releases tension going on with the spine. And hands on the belly, hands out to the side, whatever you need. You can also take your yoga strap, cover up your eyes. Sometimes we have the bright lights on, right? So I invite you to get comfortable. So kind of get comfortable wherever you need to be. For some folks, it's going to be knees bent, feet together, or sitting up on the couch, okay? But I invite you to get comfortable as I come up to the front of the room and do our guided rest and relaxation. And again, as you are ready, get comfortable. So as you're lying down or seated in the chair, get a little bit more comfortable. If you need to put something underneath the bend of the knees, cover up with a blanket, maybe a hand towel over the eyes, do that. Get the gear together. Just kind of melt into the surface that's supporting you. And once you have arrived here, let's just take a few deep breaths. Let's just let go of the day so far and just be. So breathing in, breathing out. Let's just bring to your mind a theme for today, an intention for your practice. So whatever it is you'd like to take away from the practice today, even though it's a very short one. Let's state it plainly and clearly in concise language to yourself, making it be in the present moment. So it's something like maybe, I am calm, I am peaceful. For me, it's usually I am pain-free, or I am stress-free, or something that resonates with you. Just make sure it is something that is true for you, something that you are looking to gain from your practice today. And once you have set that theme, that intention, go ahead and let's repeat it silently, mentally to yourself 3 times. Good. And just allow yourself right now to take a deep breath. And we'll start to bring awareness into our physical body. So let's let your awareness travel to the top of your head. Just noticing the top of your head. And let's allow any places in your body as we're traveling through to relax, release, or let go. With each exhale breath, relax, release, let go. So from the top of your head, scan your body all the way down to the toes. Notice your neck, your shoulders, your torso. Let's notice your arms, hands, and fingers. Noticing your hips, legs, feet, and toes. Let's take that deep breath in, exhaling, letting it out. As you relax, release your whole body. And then let's bring a little bit of awareness into our breath. Let's allow the breath to get a little bit longer on the inhale and a little bit longer on the exhale. Let's notice the quality of your breath as you breathe in and slowly as you breathe out. Let's just notice the places of the body that are moving as you inhale and as you exhale. Let's let that feeling of relaxation, releasing, letting go come over you. Big breath in. Big breath out. Good. Let's notice some opposite sensations in our body. Let's allow ourselves to feel very heavy, like you could sink into the floor, sink into the chair, sinking into the surface that's supporting you. Arms and legs are heavy. Hips and head is heavy. The whole body is heavy. Now, let's sense our body as light as a feather. The arms are light. The legs are light. The head is light. The whole body is so light, it's as if you could float up towards the sky. Weightlessness, effortlessness, light. Let's come back to the sensations in our body. Once again, I just invite you to notice the places that are supporting you as you are here. The back of the head, the shoulders, the upper back, mid back, low back, the buttocks, the calves, the bottoms of the feet, the heels. Notice the breath going in through the nose and out through the nose. Maybe just noticing the breath being free and soft, flowing softly and freely. Once again, I invite you to come back to that theme, to that intention that you set a little bit earlier. Again, maybe it was something like, I am calm, I am pain-free, or whatever phrase you picked for yourself. Let's say it silently, mentally, to ourselves 3 times. Good. Then allow yourself a nice deep breath in through the nose. And if you like, out through the mouth. I invite you, if your legs are on the chair, take them off. If your legs are extended, bend one knee, then the other. Roll over onto your side body, nice and slow. When you're ready, take that hand that's in front of you, push into the floor, bring yourself softly up. And again, we can sometimes be a little dizzy when we come from horizontal to vertical. So hands to your heart, maybe chin towards your chest. Just a couple of breaths here. All right, from here, bring the eyes to look forward. Good. So I invite you to think about one thing that you're grateful for today, or maybe an idea of gratitude. Bring whatever that is, kind of bring it into your heart space. Once again, I invite you to drop your chin in gratitude to yourself for just showing up today, okay? And then we'll end our class. You can keep your chin towards your chest or gaze forward, eyes opened or closed. So the light in me honors and respects the light in you. So let's take the peace, the strength, the understanding, and that little attitude of gratitude, and let's pass it on. Namaste, which means the bright light in me honors the bright light in you. This concludes our practice of gentle yoga for low back care.
Recording stopped.
And I have stopped the recording.